But we'll go right into questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll work our way through the room. We'll go Bob, Jesse, Jay.
Well, Porter, let's just start with rebounding, Los, Javian. When they provide that type of lift, how much does that help?
I've talked about it, having those two-headed leaders, point guards. I mean, the rebounding they did, the control of the game they did, it was great to see them really starting to get in a groove together. But they did so much more other than scoring, and they provided scoring. They ran that drop coverage. Providence is really, really good defensively, and they make you make that floater, that mid-range shot, and both those guys are good at that shot. But they make you take those shots. I really think they're elite defensively. They're physical, but I thought Javian and Los were outstanding both together on the same night, and it really was a key.
Porter, kind of along those lines, the way you guys started the game, the run you went on to end the game, seemed like it was really fueled defensively. What did you see maybe from the way the team defended tonight?
100%. I thought the way we came out defensively, I thought we were super aggressive. We did a couple different things, trapping-wise. But we know they're a good team. And we talked about Devin Carter, and he came back and hit 3 straight threes and erased that really quick. And but I thought our guys, that was a crazy end of the half with like 4 minutes and some without a stop. And to end up +4 at half, we talked about it at halftime. We were going to stay fresh defensively. And that was going to be the key. And I thought defensively in the second half, we did some really good things. We were active hands, caused 15 turnovers. That was a big part of our game plan. We wanted to get fast break points off our defense and offensive rebound. We had 16 second chance points, and I thought we did a good job on the offensive glass against them. Held them off the offensive glass. James?
For the game, midway through, is kind of a defensive slug. It's both teams are kind of hammered. You guys figured it out, though, the last 12 minutes of the game. What opened up your offense from that point?
What opened up our offense?
Yeah.
I just think Javian hit some shots. Los got to the rim. Los hit 2 or 3 at the rim. We were just really trying to be more aggressive on that drop coverage. I think Tega continued. He hit a big shot. John had an offensive rebound. Sam had an offensive rebound. I think those are key, that that you can get some second chance points. And I thought John had a big one, and Sam had a big one of second chance points in that run.
Go Eli, then Justin.
There were a lot of good things happening on the court tonight. That crowd you had in there, there was the moment, I think the foul shots where you pumped them up, and they looked pretty loud for a Tuesday night. As you're looking to build momentum, not just on attendance, but with these guys, how important is that for the show?
Home court advantage. That's what it's about. I keep saying it. You don't have great top 20 teams without a home court advantage. And I thought the last 7 minutes when they stayed, especially I think that you really noticed on those free throws, and they were great. And that's fun, and that's fun to see it. It energizes everybody, especially on a physical game like that. It gives you, I thought they really provided a spark for us, that crowd. And you just visualize, what if that thing was full? Just visualize that, because I thought the people that were there were really loud. And that was great to see that.
Justin.
You mentioned Los getting to the rim usually is more of a pass first role, but today it seemed like he was attacking really well. Just what did you see out of him in terms of his shot selection and aggression tonight?
I thought he was finishing. I thought he took a couple hits and he finished in there. And I think that's so key is when he goes in there, and he just looked more physical finishing to me. And you can just see those shooting percentages. I think he was 8 for 12. 12 rebounds, 17 points. I thought he was terrific. Javian, 7 for 16, 19 points on 16 shots. Super efficient, both of them. Javian, 7 rebounds, Milo's 12. Really, really good. And we talk about guards rebounding down. I thought some of the guys inside were blocking out sometimes, and the guards were coming down, rebounding down. So both those guys, tremendous nights, and we needed it.
We'll go Mason right on the top.
Porter, what did you think of Sam's first game back? It seemed like he was really a spark, especially
toughness. Does what he does. I know he got a couple second chance points. He did some really good defense. He had a great plug in the first half defensively that we talked about. He did a lot of really good things, energy-wise, toughness-wise, that I thought was really good. 5 for 6, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. Really, really good coming back. We needed him.
Talk about the mental toughness of Sam and John, like ticky-tacky start to the second half with some of the whistles, but they keep plugging through to pull down those offenses, not be hesitant. kind of the offensive glass.
It's been so good, so they can go as hard as they can, then the other one comes in. And they just both bring a lot of different things, and I think they're both been super productive. You know, John, you know, I know he had 6 points on 2 for 8, but I thought he had a couple big ones. He had a couple big offensive rebounds, and he had a big steal down there. So a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, Porter, just kind of going off that other night when the guards set the tone like they did. When the game got tight and Providence took that 1-point lead, it was John that had 4 straight points, and I think Sam had like a 3-play sequence on both ends of the court.
Yeah.
How big was it to get that from your bigs?
It's huge. It's huge. You need them to make some plays. You need to have an inside-outside threat. And you just can't be that. And I think they know that John's a threat. Sam's a threat. So for those guys to make some plays on there when we're need a spark, that's huge when you can get those kind of contributions, because you just can't rely on 1 or 2 guys. And that's what I think I love about this team is I think it's going to come from a lot of different spots.
We have time for maybe a couple more quick questions, Bob, and then back to James to finish
Not
off.
saying you needed like a rah-rah speech, but 40-39 media timeout. Did someone speak up?
You know what? We just all of them. You know, Javion and Los were in there, man. We had a couple possessions that weren't characteristic of us, and I think we said that. Like, hey, man, like you just can't catch it and drive it into a crowd right out of the game. We got to create the domino and move it. I thought after that timeout, our ball movement was much better again because I think we had like 3 kind of choppy possessions of. I think Jalen drove in, then Tega drove in, and then we had kind of 3, and then Waldo drove in. It wasn't really clean, and I think we talked about that timeout, and then I think then from then on we were back to moving in, sharing, and spacing it.
James, finish us off.
You know, Porter, this is a huge win for you.
Right.
I mean, you know, already on Twitter, you see some of the national guys talking about you and things. You knew it was going to be a big game for you. You beat them by double digits, and I know games get away from teams, but you know, what's this mean for your club? I know it's 8-0. You're still really early. What do you take from this game moving? You got a huge game coming up against Arkansas Saturday.
What I take away is these guys are continuing to be hungry to get better. Like we really talked 2 or 3 days about what we could have done better against Pine Bluff. You know, we gave up that many points, these guys are hungry, and we know it's one game at a time. I mean, we know we got a big one coming up, but these guys really locked in on the prep. They locked in on their effort, and you know, the biggest thing is everybody wants to play fast. You know, everybody comes. Yes, every young person, they want to play fast in the recruiting process. But you can't play fast with the expense of defense. And what these guys are doing is we're playing faster, we're going up, we're crashing the glass more than we've ever have, but they're doing it starting with the defensive end. And that's what these guys understood. They were most excited about the 20 points in the second half. That's the most, they right away recognized that was why we won. It was our defense. All right, guys, thanks.